In today's ever-evolving digital world, it is crucial to recognize that it is not only important but also a powerful tool to delve deeper into the ever-shifting language. So this nonsense word was something that in AI we call it AI slop, which basically means that you generate a response from the LLM that doesn't provide you enough information, and it is just bloating and just looks good but basically doesn't add additional information. In this video we're going to talk about what is these AI slops, how we can spot them, and how we can recognize and avoid them from both perspective of a user and a developer. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome everyone to your channel, AI Fun Fact for All. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Pedro. I have a PhD in computer science, and in this channel we talk about AI and machine learning and how we can use it in order to improve our efficiency. As LLM is becoming an essential part of our life, we see a lot of things that's repeatedly happening in the language of LLM, which is kind of annoying. The use of word delve in 2023 has been 25 times more compared to what has been used before. And there are other cases, like for example the long dash, which honestly I don't even know how to generate it from my keyword. So what is AI slop? It is something that is generated by AI that doesn't add a value to the reader, and that's generally happen because of how the LLM are trained. They are trained on massive amount of data, and they're just next token generator, and there are some basically people that take a look at the response in the red teaming or when they want to do the alignment with the RLHF, and they're gonna add a positive or negative to the response of the LLM, and it happens to be the responses that are generated and involve like this word happen to get more like and sounds more basically appealing, but at the end of the day they don't provide enough results and concepts to us, and they're just repetitive, so we actually can spot them in very long text. So it is important to first recognize them and then how we can actually avoid them. So any low quality generated text that offers little to no values, and we found it a lot in lots of homeworks, lots of blogs, and even the research paper recently, you see lots of the long sentences that has lots of this bloating adjective that doesn't necessarily provide enough information, but just it looks like that the LLM is actually trying to sell us something. Now let's see how we can actually spot these AI slops. So you need to look for the fluff, the fillers, and then the fake fantasy. Some examples in here are inflated phrasing. So it says that it is very important to note that. So necessarily a lot of unrelated result that doesn't necessarily provide enough information. Or formulated pattern, like not only but also. It's okay to have it like once, but then if it is happening repeatedly, it's kind of you can spot it. Over the top adjectives like game changing, ever evolving, or some of the adjectives that like you barely hear, you see repeatedly in the LLM results. And overuse of M dashes, so the one that I mentioned, like the long dashes, basically those are the ones that you can actually spot them, since the LLM actually don't put a space between them. So it says this dash and then that, and then there's no space, but usually if the humans actually try to do that, there would be a dash. But why it happens? So LLM actually created the slop because in the training how they do is that they predict the next words, and then they are very good at detecting pattern. So they try to follow the repetitive style, and then there would obviously be some bias and some patterns inside it. And then during the LLHF we also do alignment, but then it might create something and assume something that everybody is the same. So I've talked about that pluralistic assignment in the previous video. I will put the link at the end, which talk about how you can consider different criteria for different people. So you can consider something like multi-objective or considering multimodal model for the reward in the RLHF, but basically those concepts can create this sort of bias. So LLM don't think they just generate the next word, and then it has this bias inherently inside it, and so this can actually create the mode collapse, which basically means that it just centered around one mode, which is for the majority of the users, but doesn't align with all of the different perspective. And apart from that, we have some generic safe answer. They're often ranked higher, or something that has more use of high language. Are basically get higher. So then anything that have that sort of unusual like adjective, they get higher score in training, and it happens to be basically carried over because the results of the one LLM version will be used as for example teacher for the next one. So it's kind of like pass on through the different generation. But how we can actually fight back? So the very important point that you need to consider is basically owning the process or your interaction with LLM through the prompt. So I have created tons of different videos about prompting. I'm not gonna go into much details, but I will talk about a few of these sort of communication skills that you can use in order to differentiate between the style and make sure that you have consistent and something specialized to yourself. We need to be more clear and smarter in writing the prompt. So definitely we need to be specific. What is the tone? What is the audience? What is the style that you're looking for? One of my favorite is basically giving an example. What is your desired format? LLM are perfect in pattern matching. So if you provide a few short examples, that can be definitely very helpful. The other thing is iterate. So you refine and draft and follow up with the prompts. So basically what will happen is that you generate, you have the same prompt, but then each time you generate and get different results. So this is basically because of the whole probabilistic nature of the LLM. So you need to have iteration. So there are two paths. You can basically prompt on different session the same thing, or you can do follow-up and then try to refine and iterate on it. The difference on the completely different on the application, but it's different on different nuances, so there's not one for all. And then don't accept just the first version, basically try to update it. So if more specifically, if you want to talk about developers that have the ability to basically build a smaller models, how they can basically build this. And so one of them is basically curate high quality training data. So if you have some label data that you are sure that have a high quality, then you can use them as your supervised fine tuning to basically do the alignment. Or for example, use multi-objective RLHF, which basically consider multiple criteria: accuracy, brevity, novelty. Definitely as of right now they are using, so it's not just one criteria, they are having multiple, but still we see some issues. But basically this is one of the very simplest way, the multi-objective. And then obviously pluralism alignment is the other one that you can basically consider. The other thing is retriever system or RAG. If you want to make sure that you don't want it to hallucinate, you want to give it the the context that you want, so you provide the factual grounding for it, and then you can also filter out. So there are so many like spammy or SEO heavy responses, so you want to make sure that you have filtered out the response that you want. And there you have it, guys. We went over the concept of the AI slop, and we talk about how we can detect and spot them, and then we talk about why they can actually happen naturally with LLM. Then we talk about two separate paths, one for developers and one for actual users through prompting, in order to make sure that you can find and try to generate the response that is tailored for your specific case. As a bonus point, I want to talk about another approach that you can make sure you have your specific result that you're looking for, which is through the AI agents. So with AI agents, you can have a specific model which is expert in a specific topic by providing the context of it, the memory of it, and then some system prompt information. You can tailor it for the specific task, and then if you have that LLM to just do one specific task, it can basically provide the result a lot better compared to having an LLM that is doing multiple tasks at the same time. So definitely AI agent is another way to consider that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. More importantly, subscribe to the channel so you see other videos. If you're a researcher and you want to know more about pluralism alignment, you can watch this video that talk about ICML this year and what happened there. And if you want to learn more about how you can build AI agents that are powerful and then you don't have your bills skyrocket, you can watch this video that I talk about the examples of AI agents. Thanks for watching, and see you until the next one.